orders. The Republican politicians are saying that this policy is an open invitation to make the crisis even worse. The Republican-led Senate in Georgia passed a bill that restricts who is allowed to vote by mail. Under the bill, absentee voting would only be available to people over 65, the physically disabled, and for certain circumstances, like military personnel that are out of town on duty. Each state, they can create their own rules. The Senate in the United States government will be voting on a bill that will give the federal government more power to override state rules for voting. Republican politicians are saying that the federal government should stay out of the voting process and leave it to the states. The Republican politicians are also saying that Congress needs to learn how to balance the federal budget. Republican Congressman Mark said America's national debt now sits at over $28 trillion with no end in sight. This is a crippling burden that our children and grandchildren will have to shoulder. After the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill, Congress is expected to spend another $3 trillion on a large-scale infrastructure project. Our debt to GDP was 34% in 1980. It was 59% in the year 2000. It is now at 129% today. Regarding the COVID-19 news, the United States is seeing a big improvement in COVID-19 metrics. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services released data this week, and it reveals that ICUs are showing a big improvement. Compared to January, ICUs operating at capacity have fallen by more than 50%. Cases, hospitalizations, and fatalities, they are all down dramatically. Michael Osterholm, Biden's former advisor on COVID-19, says that we should not let our guard down. Osterholm says that we are in the eye of the hurricane right now. It appears that things are going very well, but the variant is wreaking havoc in parts of Europe. Osterholm is saying that the mutated strains may undo all of this progress. There's been a lot of discussion that the current vaccines may not be effective against the mutated strains. However, recent studies show that Pfizer's vaccine is able to neutralize the Brazilian strain effectively. This was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. Further tests are being conducted to see the efficacy against the other mutated strains as well. In current events, the Summer Olympics will begin on July 23rd in Tokyo. Japan has decided to ban foreign spectators due to COVID. Japanese spectators, they will still be allowed to attend the events. However, there will be strict rules in place for the fans. For example, the fans, they will not be allowed to cheer or sing. They'll only be allowed to clap. The organizers, they created this rule because cheering or singing would release water droplets into the air from people's mouths, which could spread the virus. Kentucky is trying to pass a bill that makes it a crime to insult a police officer in a way that could provoke a violent response. It will be a Class B misdemeanor if you insult, taunt, or challenge a law enforcement officer with offensive words that would provoke a violent response from a reasonable person. A Class B misdemeanor in Kentucky is punishable by up to 90 offensive words that would provoke at least water droplets into the air from people's mouths, which could spread the virus.
Listen to this shit.
Kentucky is trying to pass a bill that makes it a crime to insult a police officer in a way that could provoke a violent response. It will be a Class B misdemeanor if you insult, taunt, or challenge a law enforcement officer with offensive words that would provoke a violent response from a reasonable person.
My feelings
a Class
got
B
hurt.
misdemeanor
I
in
can't
Kentucky
shoot you.
is punishable by up to 90 days in jail. NFTs are the newest craze in the financial world. So I've seen this personally. I've seen this with my very own eyes, where no-name artists, graphic designers, and musicians, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars overnight, and it's the crypto speculators that are driving this frenzy. NFTs, they're non-fungible tokens.
Come on, make
and Mark
the
Cuban
biscuits.
and
Give 'em
Elon
up.
Musk,
Make the
they are
biscuits.
huge fans of them. You can see video clips of them saying how NFTs are the future and how they are here to stay. So here's a very simplified explanation. NFTs are digital collectibles.
Girl here.
They use blockchain technology to prove that you're the
Brother,
owner of
please.
something. So everything is verifiable and traceable. You could think of them like digital Pokemon cards or digital baseball cards. For example, the CEO of Twitter digitized his first tweet, and he's auctioning off that tweet, and it's currently going for $2.5 million.
Well, you gotta dig your claws out of my fucking chest.
So you might say, like, oh my goodness, that sounds so stupid. You know, why would anyone want to pay $2.5 million to be the owner of Jack Dorsey's tweets. Well, I mean, it's the same concept. Why would anyone want to pay $100,000 for a Pokemon card or $100,000 for a baseball card? You know, people pay a lot of money for collectibles. Anyways, if you're an artist, a musician, or a graphic designer, you should really look into NFTs. You can sell your work on NFT websites and make a lot of money. And I wanted to leave you with an interesting fact. Researchers at Utah State University, they performed tests to see what's the perfect amount of time to dunk an Oreo cookie into your milk. If you want the best tasting outcome, researchers concluded that it is 4 seconds. 4
Exactly.
seconds
Who wants a
will
wet
provide you optimal
Oreo?
results. Their conclusion was supported by a complex mathematical equation from a physics professor at the University of Bristol. I encourage you to fact check this information or even try it for yourself. That's the news for today. If you enjoyed today's report, please be sure to subscribe. And I thank you so much for your support.
Fucking idiots.
That our spirit in battle must have such an inglorious end. What a shame.
Nope, I'm doing stuff for work. Oh. What's up, Prospect?
What's up, Starfish? How are you?
Good.
I heard about your misfortune at your last employment, please.